Simon's leaving.
No, they all want to walk together. They're walking down the stairs together.
Not bothering with decorum, as Tova had pointed out earlier, but Jerry Brownlee and Judith Collins. Judith Collins, the new leader of the National Party, Deputy Leader Jerry Brownlee next to her, coming down the stairs now.
And I think it's a big job ahead, but I know that we as a team can do it.
First words from Judith Collins as the new leader of the National Party. It's a big job ahead, it certainly is, and she has 66 days to do it. And the caucus is following behind her as she's going to go in and make her first official speech. Nikki Kay walking past towards the back of the group there, and Paula Bennett, Simon Bridges.
Look, I decided not to, and I enjoyed casting my secret ballot.
Yeah, and will you back Judith Collins?
Absolutely.
That is the question now, isn't it? Will you back Judith Collins? That is what they are going to have to organise within their party, that uniting of the caucus behind Judith and Jerry. They're taking the podium now, so we're expecting to hear from them in Judith Collins' first official speech as national leader.
Looks like they're all going to get on the stage.
This must have been discussed beforehand, surely, right? You're all up there with me. This is what we're going to show to the public.
I'm sure.
Amy Adams just behind Judith Collins there.
There goes the eyebrow.
Well, good evening, everybody. Can I just first off apologise for keeping you up so late? These are the hours that we normally keep here in Parliament, but I do appreciate you staying for this. I've been very privileged to be voted as the leader of the New Zealand National Party by our caucus, and the Honourable Jerry Brownlee is the deputy leader of the New Zealand National Party. As you can see, we have here our front bench. Well, they're all extremely valued members of our team, and we are a team that is absolutely determined to take the fight to the government and to represent the people of New Zealand in a way that they're not represented by the current government. We are going through a period of quite difficult times from the economic point of view as a country, and it is absolutely imperative that the New Zealand people have a good policy platform and a choice as to who is going to lead them through what is actually starting to look like one of the worst economic times in living memory. I'm very, very pleased to have this honour, and starting off as a Labour voter back when I was a child, almost, I find it remarkable that the National Party has chosen me, and obviously they always were going to choose Jerry, but I think it is because I'm just so privileged to be in this position, and to also represent the excellent electorate of Papakura, which I'm sure you've heard me say many times. And we're happy to take some questions, Jerry and me, about anything, and I'd also like to acknowledge Peter Goodfellow, our President of the party, and Greg Hamilton, who is our General Manager, for all the work that they have been doing as well during this time.
50 days, you're now 10 weeks out from an election. How do you unite this group behind you?
Well, it's quite good they're all here, really, isn't it? Or pretty much. I think it's really important that we have a common goal, and the common goal is to get rid of the current government and to put in place a far better government focused on the people of this country and what they're going to need, particularly from an economic point of view.
He said he wasn't going to be in opposition for opposition's sake. What's your style going to be?
Well, you've probably seen over the years that where for instance, I think I just recently praised Helen Clark and got a bit of a slam from some people on Twitter for doing so. I think it's important that we give credit where it's due. But at the same time, there is no chance at all that I'm going to let Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern get away with any nonsense when it comes to our economy and doing her job. I will hold her to account.
Epic show of unity coming down here with the entire caucus, but it's harder than it looks, isn't it? So how do you unify this lot who have been leaking like sieves over the last couple of months and over the last couple of years, in fact?
I think one of the things that actually unifies any party is if they see that we're getting the results that they want and that they expect. They all work incredibly hard, and I know that until people work in this place and they work in the electorates, most people would have no idea just how hard my colleagues work. They're all dedicated people, and I think you're going to find that we are very focused on winning.
You've said in the past that...
Well, we're not discussing what happens in the caucus, and this is a good time to start that.
I don't say though if you were the only person put up as leader or if there were others. I mean, we could read into it, it was 2 hours long.
Well, it's because we love talking to each other, and we just love listening to each other too, Jessica.
Past that 35 is your number. If a leader dropped below 35 in the polls, then you'd stand down. Is that still your number, 35?
I think they're going to give me a few weeks' grace.
Who will be finance spokesman?
Well, I think that, well, I haven't discussed with you, but I'm pretty certain that Paul Goldsmith will be in that role.
You've tried before, Judith Collins. Why was it now that you had the numbers, do you think? Because 2 failed attempts before this. You didn't run the last time. The leadership was perhaps up for discussion, but why now?
Well, it's third time lucky, really, isn't it?
Mr. Brownlee, what do you make of coming into the position? Is this something that you wanted for a long time? Is this something that you felt like you wanted to put your name forward for?
Well, Jess, the first thing I'd have to say is I've got to congratulate your colleagues in News Hub who managed to announce the result before we'd even had a vote. I found that personally encouraging. And as to this position, I'm there to support Judith and the rest of the team, and that's what I'll be doing.
You wanted?
Oh, look, it's not something that you campaign to get. It's an opportunity that has arisen, and I've put myself up the caucus and have been selected.
Firstly, thank you very much for watching News Hub while you had such important things to be doing. Secondly, do you want the leadership ever?
No.
That out completely.
Yeah. Of course, there's always
It's always an opportunity, isn't there?
you never know where that next bus is coming from. No, the answer's no.
I think you're going to find we might have a few jokes.
Describe the last 24 hours. I think this morning you probably woke up not expecting this to happen, right?
Yeah, I may have had slight advance warning, but it's just because of the positions that I had. Look, I was devastated for Todd Muller and his family. I found Todd a wonderful person to work with, and I'm sure that when he is back working with us, that he will continue to be exactly that. Extremely well-mannered, polite, prepared, serious politician, and one who is here for the betterment of the country. And I think he's, I was flabbergasted by it. Well, I would never go into these things. I've often said that Leader of the Opposition is actually not the prize. We know what the prize is, Henry. That's what we're after.
Understanding that Todd Muller will stay in the party and stand again in the Bay of Plenty?
Oh yes, I think absolutely no doubt about that, and he would have our full support as a caucus. We are here to support Todd and his family through what is clearly a very difficult time, and he has our utmost respect.
We expect a reshuffle, and will there be more diversity in that top 20 than we saw under the previous administration?
Well, we have, clearly there's a few people need to, because of Jerry and I shifting around positions, you'll see a few changes, but I don't think you'll see wholesale anything. We are not that many weeks out from an election, and it's really important that our team that has worked so hard in their portfolios that they don't be disrupted any more than necessary. Sorry? No, I think I'll be pretty occupied. Sorry, job one? Well, job one is winning, actually. I mean, that's the goal, everything else, but actually bringing the team along, making sure that we all have everything that we need to do our best, and to know that Jerry and I, as the leader and deputy leader, need to be all over the country helping our teams and their electorates and getting that party vote up. That's what changes the government, and we're going to do it.
That's not changing your campaign material?
Oh, well, clearly there's a few pictures to be changed. Yeah, although if I look just as wonderful as Nikki, that would be fine. Or I've got more hair than Todd. So, but I think we just need to be mostly. I think we're on track to where we're going. I think it is important that we send some very strong messages out to our base voters who have been obviously a bit discombobulated with the last day or so, and they need to know that we're absolutely back on track, and we will be taking the fight to the government. I can't wait to do that.
Your messages to them.
Well, Jerry and I will be discussing that, obviously, and we'll be very focused on making sure that everyone is in the right place they need to be, and that we're all out there doing it. And we certainly haven't discussed it, so I'm not going to make any decisions today. Well, only if it works, you know. So I think it wasn't my name. I didn't give it to myself, but I am sort of hoping that the National Party will collectively crush the other lot come September 19. Well, we don't know. These are always hypotheticals, and Simon will be an extremely valued member of our team, and I think everybody knows he's an extremely hard-working and intelligent member of Parliament, and we cannot afford not to make great use of Simon. Well, I think it's something that you just never know as parties what's going on, but I never worry about what's in the past. If I did, I would spend all my time feeling hurt and grumpy, and it's much better to be positive, and a whole bunch of positive MPs moving forward to take back our country from the current lot. Yeah, they do. No, I think we're pretty good. I think, you know, people who want to know me, and, do you know, we're just going to meet even more people than we normally do, and we're just going to have the most fun as we take back the country.
Unresigning, like Amy Adams when Todd Muller came in. Are there any MPs that you expect to unresign now that you have taken over the leadership, or could Hamish Walker come back? Are there any changes?
No, I'm not expecting anybody to change their career decisions, but, you know, doors always open. I know that we've got a great lot of new candidates who have been selected already, and they'll be coming in and wanting to be part of our team. I'd say experience, toughness, the ability to make decisions. No, that would be myself. And I think too is that Jacinda Ardern is not someone who we should ever underestimate. Her own party did so for many years. She is an adversary that I would absolutely respect, but I can tell you what, our team is better than their team, and we're going to take it back. Yeah. You and Jerry Brown have both been around politics for a long time. Are you concerned that you won't look fresh going up against the government? I'll put some more makeup on or look fresher. It'll be fine. Don't worry about that.
Toughness there is one of your attributes that wins out over the Prime Minister. So you're tougher than Jacinda Ardern. That's how you're planning to win this thing. Well, it's not just that. We're better. We're actually better. If we look at our team, the experience, what we brought into politics, it's all better than Jacinda Ardern and her team. And, you know, she's got 3 ministers who she has confidence in. That's it, pretty much. And they get all the big jobs. We've got a whole team that I've got confidence in. And that's a big difference. Well, I would like to hope that we will get so many votes
that people will just want to come and work with us. And I think it's important that we focus on our party vote and that we don't get distracted with anything else. It's our party vote that makes the difference to whether or not we get to form the next government. Caucus decisions always stand, and I think we need to be very focused on just sticking to focusing on our party vote and understanding that there are other players coming into politics at this time as well. Well, I think that the discussion documents that we did last year were outstanding. They were, I particularly liked the one on RMA reform. I may have had something to do with that. But no, everyone put a huge effort into them, and I think it's important that we acknowledge that work, and I found them incredibly good to go back to on policy and to discuss with people. We're a serious party with serious policies. Clearly, when we're going out selling policies to people, we're not going to take along documents and ask them to read them all, but it is important that we understand the background to those policies and how they come about. I don't see major shifts at all in the policies that we have.
An incredible political moment. Personally, how long have you wanted this?
Well, I think everybody who comes into politics tries to do our best, actually. I think we all do. And the big thing for me is to see and to feel the strength of the team. And this is a team game for us, and it's not even, it's just, you can't win it without the team. And our team, we want to be back in charge of the Treasury benches for the very good reason that we are best fitted to actually look after the people of New Zealand. This is all about the people. This is not about me, it's not about Jerry, it's not about anyone else, it's about the people, and that's who we're there for. Most of us are either electorate MPs or very active list MPs in our areas, and I don't think any of our people take the voters or the people of New Zealand for granted. Well,
What's your message to Jacinda Ardern?
I would say that Jacinda Ardern is someone who I respect as a person, but I know that myself, Jerry and the rest of our team will be a far better government than she could ever be. Well, I must say it is a New Zealand bestseller actually last week, but it's not about me, Jason, or the books. I'd say that I'm someone who grew up on a farm. I'm a very provincial Aucklander, if you could put it like that, and my heart is utterly with New Zealand. I could never live anywhere else. This is a country that I love more than anything, and I came into politics for New Zealanders, and I knew I could do better than some others, and that's who I am. Yep. It would be a pretty enormous responsibility and a massive honour. And I think that it brings with it the most incredible responsibility. It's a very serious issue, particularly for a country that is about to go into the worst economic situation that we have seen in living memory. I think that tells me it's a big job, and we've all got to be very focused on that. So, yeah. Well, we're going to be discussing all sorts of things around that, and I'm not going to start picking on various areas. I thought the whole thing was really sad, and might I say the 18 people whose their health information was put out there was just awful that happened. And Hamish Walker is, he's a first-term MP, and he's paid a huge price for that. And I also feel very sorry for his family and for the terrible angst that he must be going through. Unfortunately, these are decisions that come with the job. They're really tough decisions, and they should never be taken lightly. But, whatever people do, whatever happens, whatever mistakes, they're still people, and we should always think of that. Yeah. Well, because we've just still got to work out a few things there, but I'm sure things will be fine.
You said we're going into the worst recession for that topic. What is going to
You sound like Paul Goldsmith, you know, you really do. I mean, you've been listening to him far too much. I think that it's pretty obvious the National Party is not the party of big taxes. And what we are is we're a party of sensible spending, we're a party of infrastructure, we're a party who believes in investing, but we're not stupid with money because we always know somebody has to pay it back. And the last thing that we want is to leave a legacy for the next 2 generations to pay back on. So these are the sorts of views that we're taking into this, and that's where we're always better than the other people, because we know you have to pay it back. Well, yes and no. There are ways through. We'll let you know all about them. We've got some speeches coming up already. All right, I think everyone can go. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thanks for staying. And it might be time for a drink. What do you think? Everyone knows that. Be careful, there's a step. Don't do what I did. Thank you, everyone.